Films and fermentation, movies and inebriation. Films and fermentation, comedy mixed with tasty libations. Films and fermentation, with Leo, Kev, Man, and Mike.
This podcast is part of the Deluxe Edition Network. To find other great shows on the network, head over to deluxeeditionnetwork.com. That's deluxeeditionnetwork.com.
Hey everybody, welcome to Films and Fermentation. Tonight it's episode 169. We're going to be looking at movie witches tonight, which is why we decided to title this episode Hex Appeal. That's right, we are Films and Fermentation, a movie and alcohol podcast, the #1 pop culture podcast on Good Pods. I'm Leo.
I'm Kevin.
I'm Mike.
You were a little bit
sure?
of time.
Are you sure about that?
That was weird just now. Like I saw your mouth move, and then the words "I'm Mike" didn't come out till about 4 seconds later.
Don't ask me what's going on.
I don't know. It was like a little bit of a weird delay there. It almost looked like you were filming some martial arts film from the 70s.
I get that from you all the time, Lee. So,
So we are three friends who like to talk shit about movies while getting shit-faced. As I said, in this episode, we're grabbing our wands and broomsticks to discuss the most famous witches and wizards ever to grace the silver screen. From The Boy Who Lived to the green-skinned queen of Mean, these spellcasters have enchanted audiences for generations. So whether you're more Hogwarts or Oz, grab your potion of choice and join us as we conjure up a conversation about cinema's most bewitching characters. Don't forget to drop us.
You can say that again, really.
Oh, that was. I should have practiced that beforehand because that was hard. That was more difficult than I thought it was going to be when I put that on the notes.
Spain falls mainly on the
plane.
No, it was just trying to say the green-skinned queen of Mean was like pretty difficult just now. Don't forget to drop us an email at filmsandfermentation@gmail.com or visit linktree.com/filmsandfermentation. To find all of our social media and podcast links, become part of the Films and Fermentation family by joining us on Patreon or buying our merchandise at teespring.com. We are still looking for some votes on our new theme song. We're going to be looking to start using that sometime after our spooky season episodes are over. So if you go back a few episodes, we have a little mini pod episode where I played all of our new theme song choices. Please let us know what you think. In fact, you can let us know by texting us at 904-867-4466. That's 904-867-4466, the Films and Fermentation text line. Kevin will give you the fax number information later in the show.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's the same combination of my luggage.
And if you need to send the Morse code signal, I'll let you know what it is.
Yeah, it's
smoke signal.
Beep 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 beep.
Check out our MySpace page.
We're now on Friendster.
Are you a friend of Tom's?
I have an email address at Prodigy if anybody would like that as well.
My AOL address is.
If you hear the dial-up sound, we lost signal for a moment. Just give us a second. What are we drinking tonight, gentlemen? I'll go first. Okay. So I was like looking for like theme drinks for tonight since we're doing witches. I figured that's an easy one to find, and I found a bunch of different like mixed drinks that were like all witch themed. And problem was with some of them I didn't have the ingredients, and with some of them I didn't have the time because I waited till like 10 minutes before we started recording to do this. So my wife, who helped me out last week by helping me pick out actors for our recasting Young Frankenstein episode, helped me again this week by giving me a drink idea, a very easy one. She said, why don't you just drink a margarita? And I go, why is that? She goes, because in Practical Magic, there's a scene called Midnight Margaritas where they drink margaritas and dance to Lime and the Coconut. And I went, perfect. So I'm drinking a margarita tonight. In fact, I am drinking a ultimate margarita using 1800 tequila.
Nice. I went out last week and needed to replenish my fall supply. I picked up a variety of beers, which we will partake in this weekend, gentlemen. But two of the ones that I got that I want to try, I think both of you have had before. I know I've had the Southern Tier Pumpkin Imperial Ale that I think I may have had that even last week or 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. Thanks to my sister-in-law, Sarah. And this one I don't recall having, but I'm looking forward to trying it. It is the Caramel Pumpkin.
Oh, that's so good.
Pumpkin Ale from Southern Tier as well. So I think I'll start off with this one since I haven't had it before, at least not that I can recall.
Mike, you had that last week, didn't you? On the show, I think.
Last week or the week before.
Yeah, I know you've had that on the show already.
I'm trying to keep the numbers in the fridge even. You know what I have for each beer. So
one here, one there, one here, one there. So, Mike, what do you got going? That is a really good one.
Yards Brewing Company Underdog Oktoberfest Lager, 5.6 alcohol by volume.
Anybody else missing Jason Kelsey this year?
After watching his replacement snap the ball over Jalen Hurts' head and then tackle Saquon Barkley himself when he had an open field to run through, I was like, yes, I'm missing Kelsey just a little bit.
Just a bit.
Just a bit. Mike, anything special happened this week?
This week in film history. In 1923, Disney Brothers Cartoon Studio is founded.
And 101 years later, they have bought every IP that exists now.
Just about.
What was the name of Walt Disney's brother?
It was Roy.
Very good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Do you think Walt and Roy had that in mind when they started Disney Studios back in 1923?
Yeah.
They were like, one day we are gonna own the most NC-17 superhero in the Marvel universe.
We will own all of space. We will own the Muppets.
All of Muppetdom, all of space. We will own movies that you didn't even know we owned.
And then we will own The Simpsons.
Yeah. Pretty much.
They own Showgirls?
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised. Like, what production company made that film? They might own it at this point. Who knows? It's
I think they own Starship Troopers.
I think they do. Yeah. So if they own that, they must own other Paul Verhoeven movies. I can't wait to see RoboCop on Disney Plus soon. New to Disney Plus, Total Recall.
that stuff will be moved over to Hulu.
Yeah. Oh, there's a director whose career I would love to cover one day, Paul Verhoeven. That is a wild career.
I'm doing my part.
What's your doing my part? I'll buy that for $1. Hold on a sec.
Keep the change, you filthy animal.
Thank you. What's the next one you got there, Mike?
1939, Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, directed by Frank Capra and starring James Stewart and Jean Arthur, is released.
I know this is considered a classic. I believe it won the Oscar for Best Picture in '39.
You have not
never seen it. Never saw it.
Wasn't Mr. Deeds a redo of this?
Not Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. There was another film that I'm pretty sure was a James Stewart film called like Mr. Deeds Goes to Town or something like that.
Okay.
and it's a little bit. It's a comedy, but it's not as slapstick, silly comedy like the Adam Sandler one, obviously.
What? I'm shocked.
As far as I can remember, there was no scene in the original James Stewart version where the butler shows him his gangrene foot and they hit it with a fire pit stick or whatever. As Mike looks weirdly at me because I know he has not seen that film.
No.
Next one, Mike. It's a good one.
1957 musical film Jailhouse Rock, starring Elvis Presley, premieres in Memphis, Tennessee.
Walking through a party in the county jail. Prison band was there. They began to wail. And was jumping and jump began to swing. You should have heard us knock out that birthday. Let's rock. Everybody, let's rock.
It was Elvis's hips that started the whole big sex in prison thing.
That's right, because those hips.
Before then, people were like straight as an arrow. And then he comes in with these swinging hips.
Yeah.
Like, hey now.
Massive, lifelong criminal, a couple cells down, looked at him and went, yeah, I could fuck that.
I'd fuck that.
Unrelated story, but kind of related.
Okay.
Do you know somebody fucked in prison?
No, it's kind of almost similar.
So you're P. Diddy, aren't you?
Pete Townsend of The Who. I saw him in an interview one time talking about the first time he ever saw Mick Jagger on stage. And he's like, yeah, I was just standing in the back and they were opening for us and I'm watching him on stage and I seen him dance around and gyrate. And he goes, it's the first time in my life I ever thought to myself, I could fuck a man.
I don't know. Going based on Mick Jagger's signature dance, the rooster, the whatever it is, the chicken. Yeah, exactly. You sure he doesn't want to fuck a chicken?
All right, moving on.
In 1961, film adaptation
I'm in
of
danger.
Go ahead.
Where was that?
1961.
1961 film adaptation of the 1957 Broadway musical West Side Story, directed by Robert Weiss and Jerome Robbins, and starring Natalie Wood, premieres Academy Award Best Picture 1962.
Maria, I just met a girl named
Maria. That's one of the best adaptations of Romeo and Juliet.
Yep.
I love West Side Story. I'm not going to make fun of it. It's a great movie.
Great movie.
I actually like the remake.
The Spielberg version. Spielberg version was really good too. Yeah,
I thought it was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
What do you got next here, sir?
1967 Walt Disney's animated musical adaptation of Rudyard Kipling's The Jungle Book. Film is released. Cast features voices of Phil Harris, Louis Prima, Sterling Holloway, and Sebastian Cabot.
I believe Louis Prima was
King Louis.
I think he was King Louis. I think he was the orangutan character.
Mm-hmm.
What is? Okay, I didn't know about this. Go ahead.
1978 first TV movie from a TV series, Rescue from Gilligan's Island, continues the story of the shipwreck sitcom from 1964 to 67. 6 of the original 7 castaways reprised their roles.
Who didn't show?
Gilligan. It'd been great if it was Gilligan.
I think it was. I want to say it was the professor.
The professor, yeah. I don't know that the actor might have passed away or something before they did that revival film because this is 11 years after the show ended. So I'm assuming they were still on the island 11 years later. I think at that point they might have eaten the professor.
You could make a radio out of coconuts, but you couldn't fix a hole in the damn boat.
If I remember correctly, they got back to the mainland. They hated it so much they went back to the island.
Okay. Yeah.
Totally plausible.
Don't think I've ever seen that TV film. And the last fact for this evening, sir.
And 2021 Marvel film Eternals, directed by Chloe Zhao or Chow, starring an ensemble cast including Gemma Chan, Richard Madden, and Jolie, premieres in Los Angeles.
And Marvel fans everywhere said, meh.
It would have been better off making that a miniseries.
Yeah, I think it would have been better if you had
Yeah.
if you
Introducing,
spread it out, introduce the
yeah,
characters a little bit.
well, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree that probably would have been better off being like a Disney Plus series or something.
And people have yet to mention this large thing popping out of the Indian Ocean, and
Yeah.
all the subsequent things.
Yeah, they've totally forgotten about that Titan or whatever the hell it is that they kill at the end. It'd be weird, like if they actually did end up bringing it up in one of the future projects out of nowhere. Like it's like, oh, they didn't forget about that. Okay. Must try beer craft destination for this evening, Mike.
I have a must-try beer, Northern Sky Stout from Allagash Brewing Company, Portland, Maine. Stout isn't really something they make regularly in Belgium, but that doesn't prevent Belgium-inspired Allagash Brewing from making one. Really, this beer is more Southern English in style, with malty, chocolate, and espresso aromatics, a velvety texture, and a smooth, initially sweet roast grain flavor that dries towards the finish. Helping the eventually dryness is 7.5% alcohol by volume. North Sky has some dark fruit flavors and aromas, as well as a dry fig, prune, and raisin notes that emerge as it warms. Definitely some oats and wheat at work to contribute to mouthfeel. Sets a high bar for American craft brewing stouts.
I always get weirded out when I hear the term mouthfeel.
Mouth
I know it's something that goes along with most alcohol tastings, but
mouthfeel.
oh, I really like the mouthfeel.
I like that mouthfeel.
Soft on the tongue. Really caresses the palate. I can feel it tickling my throat. Going down nice
boy.
and smooth.
We love those episodes.
I'm in danger.
I think we are. Oh, Kev.
Yes.
This looks like an interesting story this evening. I'm curious to hear this one. At first, I was about to make a joke about the non-alcoholic beer thing, but then I saw the rest of the headline, and I was like, oh, no, I can't make a joke about that now.
Nope.
Beer is good. Beer is good. Beer is good. And stop. Beer is good. Beer is good. Beer is good. Let's go drink some beer.
Welcome to Beer is Good. Beer news is good news.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, yeah, we are going to talk about non-alcoholic beer, even though our name of our show is Films and Fermentation. Article came out in Variety. Is it today? It was yesterday. Tom Holland, who is our favorite, teenage web slinger, who's actually not teenage now, but still, just like all the other ones, not teenage.
It's
Anyway,
the most believable teenage web slinger.
most recent web slinger, Spider-Man, launched a non-alcoholic beer 2 years into his sobriety, claiming, "I wanted to create something that reflected my lifestyle and values." Tom Holland is the latest star to break into the non-alcoholic spirit space 2 years into his sobriety journey. The new non-alcoholic beer, playfully called Barrow, launched Wednesday morning and is now available to shop online. "For me, Barrow is personal," Holland said in a statement. "After 2 years on my sobriety journey, I wanted to create something that reflected my lifestyle and values. This beer isn't just for those on a similar path, but for everyone who appreciated quality craftsmanship and living life to the fullest. Barrow delivers the taste and experience of a great brew and never asks you to settle for less." The line features 3 varieties inspired by Holland's UK upbringing: Kingston Gold Pills, a fresh take on the European pills named after Holland's hometown. Edge Hill Hazy IPA, a New England style hop named after Holland's primary school. And Noon Wheat, a nod to Tom's beloved Schnauzer of the same name. Holland opened up about his sobriety journey in depth for the first time to Jay Shetty's podcast, where he said his alcohol cleanse had initially started as a temporary detox for dry January. His difficulty going without an alcoholic drink for a month made him realize he might have a problem. All I could think about was having a drink, the Spider-Man actor told Shetty. It's all I could think about. I was waking up thinking about it, checking the clock. Is it 12? It just really scared me. 1 month turned into 2, which turned into 3. Holland has now been sober from alcohol for more than 2 years and is celebrating his sobriety with a non-alcoholic line that his fans, sober or not, can enjoy alongside him. Beero is available for purchase and nationwide shipping at barrowbrewing.com. The 12-ounce cans will come in a range of pack sizes, including the 6-pack, single flavor, 12-pack single flavor, and variety, 18-pack single flavor, and 24-pack single flavor brews. And good for him. You know, I never fault anyone for recognizing what's best for them, especially when it comes to vices, whether it be smoking or caffeine or alcohol or whatever it might be. And, you know, if this is working for him and he can bring a little love to the rest of the populace who is trying to, you know, quit the alcohol, then good for them.
I also think, like, I don't know, normally we make fun of like the non-alcoholic beers, but kind of like, you know, he's like, I like enjoying a beer, but I don't want the damaging effects of it. So this is one way to do that. And good for him.
It's not I looked it up. Duels anymore.
Yeah, I looked it up. He's 28 years old.
Wow.
Wow.
I did not realize he was that old.
He looks good for his age. Just like Kate Winslet.
I was going to say, not that that's old, but, you know, I don't vaguely remember being 28. That's how old I am. So Mike just turned 60.
Hey!
I'm not 60. If I was, I look damn good for 60.
We went to the Strasbourg train yard for his birthday, and he said, "Hey, I remember when they built that train." We'll be right back after this. Go ahead. Will you say something?
I was just going Bill Dig. Went to a Revolutionary War battleground. He said, "Hey, remember when we had that?" Sorry,
Mike. I'm sorry.
Sorry, Mike.
No, you're not. No, just wait.
This is what Mike wants to say to us right now.
So why don't you make like a tree and get out of here?
We'll be right back after a quick word from Coffee Brothers.
I love a good beer, but right now I can use a good cup of coffee.
Have you heard about Coffee Brothers?
Oh yeah, they're that coffee company out of New York, right?
Well, they're more like a coffee wizards of New York City. They source these amazing seasonal blends and single origin coffees. It's like a flavor adventure in every cup. And get this, they roast everything in small batches. None of that mass-produced stuff. It's like each bean gets the VIB treatment.
VIB?
Very important bean.
Sounds fancy, but is it worth it?
Definitely. Plus, they're a 2-person team. I mean, that's dedication right there. 2 brothers, 1 mission to caffeinate the world. And right now, you can save 10% on your order. I mean, who doesn't love a good discount?
All right, you've convinced me. Let's get some Coffee Brothers now.
Coffee Brothers, where every cup is a sip of perfection. Save 10% on your next order with the code FNF10. That's FNF10. Cheers to great coffee. Thank you for sticking with us after that quick message from Coffee Brothers. We're moving on to our main segment tonight, Movie Witches, as we called it, Hex Appeal. Brought to you by the new movie Wicked, coming out on November 22nd, 2024, starring Ariana Grande, Cynthia Erivo, Michelle Yeoh, and Peter Dinklage. That's right, Wicked, not an official sponsor.
Oh shit!
Oh shit! There goes the planet. What's up?
Did you get your tickets yet, Mike?
No, but I just realized I didn't change my sign from last week.
Oh yeah, it says Young Frankenstein.
Young Frankenstein. Frankenstein.
Oh well. It happens. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
All right. So we are looking at movie. So which movies? The movies about witches. That's which movies. So we thought tonight would be a lot of fun if we revisited ranker.com for this, because ranker.com has a list of the best witch movies of all time. We did this once before and had a lot of fun kind of upvoting and downvoting some of the films that are on this list. I've already been hitting the list a little bit before you guys did, so I don't know if any of them have changed or not since I put the link on the document. But we'll see. So should we start from like the bottom and work our way up a little bit, or should we start at the top and just work our way down?
Yeah, it started about. Well, how far about are we going to go though?
So like I don't want to go too far because there is like 80 movies on this list. So I was thinking we can start with like, oh god, I don't know where to start because there's a couple that are really low that I would love to like just keep on here somewhere. Let's go down to
30 maybe.
I'm waiting for the friggin' load. There's like Teen Witch, I think, is really low.
Mm-hmm.
Or 35.
Or we can start at number one and just work our way down. We can skip a few here and there too.
There you go. Start at the beginning, and then we'll end at the end.
Yeah, now as we get down lower, we can skip them and get to like the ones that we want to talk about, because there's a few on here that I've never seen. There's a couple on here I never even heard of. So this is a pretty comprehensive list. Number one on the list, a film from the 90s, 1996 to be exact, directed by Andrew Fleming, starring Robin Tunney, Nev Campbell, Rachel True, and Kevin's favorite 90s girl, Fairuza Balk.
Fairuza!
This movie is called The Craft. After transferring to an LA high school, Sarah, played by Robin Tunney, finds that her telekinetic gift appeals to a group of 3 wannabe witches who happen to be seeking a 4th member for their rituals. Bonnie, played by Nev Campbell, Rochelle by Rachel True, and Nancy by Fairuza Balk, like Sarah herself, all have troubled backgrounds, which combine with their nascent powers, leading to all kinds of witchcraft and, tomfoolery.
Tomfoolery!
I was actually kind of shocked to see this movie at number one. Not that it's not a good movie.
Who's Tom? Why he's foolery?
Who's Tom and why is he a fool? But I was shocked to see this at number one, not because it's not a good movie. I enjoy the movie, but I just thought it was like one of those movies that kind of got forgotten a little bit because it's such a relic of the 90s.
Cult classic. It's a hot topic T-shirt, if you will. But it is the epitome of witch movies. I mean, it is a witch movie. The whole thing's witch. It's just a witch.
It's decidedly 90s.
Oh yeah,
it is a very 90s film.
Yeah,
the soundtrack is very 90s. You got Nev
Smiths.
Campbell, who was on Party of Five at the time, and so it's a very, very 90s film. So I was kind of surprised for that reason alone. That
there
it
were
was
very attractive women in this.
Yes, it was 90s. Boy crushes.
So Kevin voted on this a number of times to get it number one.
I did, absolutely.
Kevin kept signing in with different email addresses, so he could keep voting. So, again, I was kind of surprised that this one's number one. Like, it's not that it's a bad film or anything. I just, I honestly thought number two would be number one.
Not the first number. The which movie you think right away when you think which movies?
Which one? Hocus Pocus? Or The Craft?
Maybe. Yeah.
Who?
The Craft.
The Craft. Yeah, I mean,
Craft.
I think about it as a witch
movie
because
it's not the first movie that comes to mind when you think witch.
Oh no. That's what I mean. Like for me, The first movie that comes to mind is Hocus Pocus, mainly because I've seen it a number of times because it's one of my wife's favorite films. So like for me, like I thought this one would have been number one because especially when you think like they just did a sequel, like what 30 years after the original one came out,
which was good.
A legacy
had
sequel.
A good effort, yeah. No,
they did a live performance for the anniversary as well, where a bunch of different actresses and all came out and performed some of the songs and stuff from the film. So I was kind of surprised. So for this one, I have a little clip. So why don't I play that real quick?
Sure.
I put a spell on you. And now you're mine. You can't stop the things I do. I ain't lying.
No, look at him.
Been 300 years, right down to the day. Now the witch is back, and there's hell to pay. I put a spell on you.
Good joke. Happy Halloween. Thanks a lot. No, man, I'm
And
serious.
now
You got your head. You're not kidding. You had the fun. All right. Yeah, cheer up. Let's go, guys.
Hello, sailor. My name's Wilfred. I put a spell on you, and now you're gone. My planet fell on you, and it was strong.
Is there something wrong with me that I think this is the best that Sarah Jessica Parker's ever looked? I think this is the most attractive I've ever found her in a film.
But she's goth. She's young and she's goth, and that's right up your alley.
She's the silly blonde witch. But yeah, I mean, I enjoy Hocus Pocus. I think I saw it in the theater.
I would say this is the best Halloween witch movie.
Yes.
You know?
It's so this came out in '93, directed by Kenny Ortega, starring Bette Midler, Sarah Jessica Parker, and Kathy Najimy as the witches, Max Dennison, played by Omri Katz, Vanessa Shaw as Allison, and young Thora Birch as Danny, who would become, who's still acting. She's still doing things now, but she's in like her 30s now, 40s maybe.
Yeah, I think the next big thing after this was American Beauty for her.
Yeah,
Was it that or Ghost? Was it Ghost Town or Ghost Girls? Something?
The one which she did with
Scarlett Johansson.
Scarlett Johansson. It's Ghost World.
Ghost World.
Ghost World was her, Scarlett Johansson, and Steve Buscemi in that film. She was on The Walking Dead recently too, in one of the last seasons of The Walking Dead. So yeah, I like Hocus Pocus a lot. It's one that I actually thought would have been top of the list. So I voted it up. I don't know about you guys.
I'll leave it where it's at because I think the craft is better at the top.
Okay. Mike, where are you at with this one?
I left it where it's at.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Number 3 on the list is The Witches, Angelica Houston. This one came out in 1990. They actually had a remake a few years back with Anne Hathaway, but it wasn't held in high regard, as a lot of remakes aren't, you know.
It was okay.
It was what?
It was okay.
It was okay. Yeah, this one, I remember this one like scaring me even at 1990.
Yes.
I was 12 and I found it kind of creepy.
And I'll tell you why. Because it used Jim Henson's, creature maker or Jim Henson Productions to create the image of the witches, which was terrifying. Jim Henson,
she like rip her skin off or something.
Yes. There's a whole mask thing, and Jim Henson, when he tries, like we all know from The Dark Crystal and from others, that he can make something look pretty, gnarly.
Creepy.
Yep, especially for kids. So yeah.
So witches, I'm leaving it where it's at. I think it's right where it should be at number 3.
This is a Roald Dahl. Roald?
Yeah, it was a Roald Dahl book. Yeah,
Roald Dahl book. Yeah.
Number 4 on the list, another one of my wife's favorite movies. The inspiration for my drink tonight, and that inspiration comes from this little scene right here called Midnight Margarita.
I have newt and toe of frog, will of bat, tongue of dog.
Adder's fork and blindworm's sting.
Barbados lime is just the thing.
Fragged sword like a sailor's stubble.
Flip the switch and let the cauldron bubble.
How convenient! Midnight margaritas!
See, for me, when I hear lime and a coconut, I think of Reservoir Dogs. So that film there, if you're unfamiliar with it, is 1998's Practical Magic, starring Sandra Bullock, Nicole Kidman. That was Diane Wiest and Stockard Channing in that scene with them as well. About witches in a small town.
Small New England town. Witches
small
aren't
New
found
England town.
anywhere else but New England.
Nowhere else but New England.
Damn
and
sure.
how the family is grappling with a curse that is passed down from generations. So it's an okay film. I'm not overly,
it's a bit chick flicky. If I
kind of chick flicky a little bit. There are like some, there are some like darker, like kind of scarier moments in it when the boyfriend comes back from the dead that Nicole Kidman kills. It's a little creepy, but it's overall, I mean, it's okay. It's not a great film, I think. I know my wife enjoys it, but like you said, it's chick flicky.
That's why I voted it down.
I gave it a vote down. I think 4 is a little high for it.
Yes.
25% of the people agree with my choice, but it didn't do any movement. It's kind of still where it's at. I'll refresh the page real quick and see.
Still there.
Still there. Still at number 4. Number 5. In a quaint town of Eastwick, 3 friends, Alexandra, played by Cher, Jane, played by Susan Sarandon, and Suki, played by Michelle Pfeiffer, harbor secret desires. Their peaceful existence is disrupted when a mysterious man, Daryl Van Horn, played by Jack Nicholson, arrives. Unbeknownst to them, Daryl's charms mask a sinister purpose because he is the devil. This film is called The Witches of Eastwick. I have to say, I haven't seen this one in a while.
I can't recall.
But I do remember enjoying this movie.
What's that, Mike?
I do remember enjoying this movie when I watched
it. It is a good movie. And what did you say, Kev? You've
never
seen this one?
I think I've seen pieces of it. I can't recall it from beginning to end.
So I was 10 when this film came out, and I know I wasn't allowed to watch it when it came out because it is a very like overtly sexual film.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. But I did watch it like in the 90s when I was trying to get caught up on films from the 80s that I never saw. And I remember liking it, but I do remember that it is a little over the top at times. But Jack Nicholson is having the time of his life in this film. Why wouldn't he? He had a young Cher, young Susan Sarandon, young Michelle Pfeiffer to play off of in the film. I'm gonna give this one. I'm probably gonna give this one a vote up because I think like it should be probably above Practical Magic.
I did as well.
Kevin is
I'm leaving it where it's at.
Is leaving where it is because he has to see it first.
I have to see it. I do.
Yeah. Next one is Sleepy Hollow. I don't remember the witch in this.
The witch is Miranda, what's her name? Miranda Richardson.
Okay.
Richardson
Mhm.
is married to the I don't know, the head honcho of Sleepy Hollow at the time. And through the backstory, you find she is one of a set of twins
Mhm.
who were practicing. They were girls growing up, but they were witches, or they were taught witchcraft, right?
Mhm.
And one of them goes crazy and kind of still lives out in the woods, but she kind of cleans herself up and gets herself involved with the people in the town. And she's the one who brings about the horseman. She
Okay.
brings him back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I've only watched Sleepy Hollow once. It's
It's one of my favorite Halloween movies.
I know it's one of your favorite
Yeah,
Halloween.
yeah.
Not
I'm
one
a
of my
Tim Burton
favorite
fan,
Tim
though.
Burtons. You know,
Mhm.
I'd like. There's other Tim Burton films I like better, so it's not one that I've like seen a lot.
I thought the Headless Horseman in that was awesome. It was
Well,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
Christopher Walken. Of course, it's awesome.
It's Ray Park, too. Ray Park says
Rare-
all
Ray
the
Park.
Ray Park's the body, and then Christopher
Mhm.
Walken plays the head at the end. But it's
And,
like
yeah,
rare non-speaking role for Chris Walken.
Rawr.
It's just the teeth.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna take your head.
I'm the headless horseman. I'm here
I'm
for
gonna throw my
revenge.
pumpkin
Somebody's loving me. I'm here to take your head.
What do you think of my teeth? They're very sharp. Wow. Wow.
I can't use straws.
I love this horse. It's such a beautiful creature. I'm going to leave where it is because I know you guys both enjoy the film, and I'm
I
not going to vote
voted
it
it up.
down.
Yeah,
It's not one of my favorite Tim Burton films, but
I voted it.
I think it's good where it is.
Mm.
Number 7, surprised this one's not higher. Now, this is tough because there's 8 films in the series.
Yeah.
So like, how do you vote one above the other? Because I mean, so it's Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's
then
Stone is
you-
number 7 on the list. Which is like,
Well, you would have to vote by that way, which was a better movie.
yeah, that's the thing. I'm like, I know that Sorcerer's Stone is on here because it's the film that started the franchise, but I don't think it's the best of the 8 films.
Not the best of the Harry Potter movies, but it is the one where it's you're a witch, and this is what witches are, and this is a witching school, and this is how witches live in collaboration with non-witch folk. So it's the introduction into witchery.
Now, I think it's a little misleading too because the title for the ranking, so it's ranked number 7. It says Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. But then when you look at the description next to it, it has released between 2001 and 2011, directed by Chris Columbus, Alfonso Cuarón, Mike Newell, David Yates. So it's basically
doing
listing
all of
the films.
It's talking the series, yeah.
It's talking this year. So it should say Harry Potter like Chronicles or the Harry Potter series or something like that. So I mean, if you're using all the films together as one, I would probably vote it up higher. If you're talking just about Sorcerer's Stone in general, I think it's fine where it is at number 7 because it's not the best of the series. It's the most kid-friendly one, we'll put it that way, since it's the beginning of the franchise.
Yeah, I would think I would leave it where it's at because of most of the other ones, not counting, Hocus Pocus. This is not a frightening witch story.
No.
Plus,
I mean,
everybody's a witch. It's like when everybody's a witch, it kind of takes away from the witch of it, the witchery.
I mean, it gets much scarier and darker later on when you bring Voldemort back. And
yeah.
So, I'm gonna vote it up though, but I think if it stays where it's at, it's fine.
I'm gonna leave it where it's at.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave it.
The next one, number 8 on the list, is The Witch.
Ooh,
just called The Witch, which they have.
I like this one.
Well, you like Robert Eggers films, so
I do. I like Anya Taylor-Joy.
And I like it. I like the joke that this is called the Vivitch because it's like 2 V's in the title screen. The Vivitch. It's Anya Taylor-Joy. It's Ralph Ineson, who is another British actor, Kate Dickie, who played. She was in Game of Thrones. She was Aunt Lysa,
right?
The one that gets thrown through the moon door. Yeah.
Sure.
In 1630 New England, panic and despair envelop as a farmer, his wife, and their children. When youngest son Samuel suddenly vanishes, the family blames Thomasin, played by Anya Taylor-Joy, the oldest daughter, who is watching the boy at the time of his disappearance. With suspicion and paranoia mounting, twin siblings Mercy and Jonas suspect Thomason of witchcraft. And I just so happen to have that scene where the baby disappears.
Boo! There you are. Boo! Where is Sam? Where is Sam? Where is that little man? Boo! There you are. There you are. Boo! Sam? Samuel!
That was her first film.
Mm-hmm.
Very first movie. Like she did that, and then she did Split next, which is the film that kind of introduced her to American audiences.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all been gravy since. Not like Anya Taylor-Joy. I think she's an amazing actress.
She's a very good actress. That scene was eerie.
Yeah, it's a very intense movie.
This is why you never play peekaboo with a baby over by the woods.
So you never keep a ram named Black Phillip as a pet.
No.
No,
I like when we found out my wife was pregnant, we had to get rid of our Black Phillip ram.
It's like, honey, we need to sell the goat. We can keep the black dog, but we got to get rid of the black goat. The next one on the list here is Stardust. If you have not seen this film, please see this film. It is really funny. It's if you're a fan of The Princess Bride, it's sort of Princess Bride adjacent.
Okay.
So it's 2007. It's directed by Matthew Vaughn, who did the Kingsman series. He adapted a novel by Neil Gaiman, who's one of my favorite writers. Neil Gaiman's actually the writer behind the Sandman series that they just had on Netflix.
Coraline.
This is one of his early novels. Stardust is a fantasy adventure film that unveils the tale of a young man named Tristan, played by Charlie Cox, who we know well as the Daredevil, who embarks on an audacious expedition into a magical realm. His quest is to find a fallen star named Devane, played by Claire Danes, promised as a gift for his beloved Victoria, played by Sienna Miller. The journey becomes more perilous when the wicked witch Larnia, played by Michelle Pfeiffer, seeks the star herself. So it's like a fantasy / fairy tale kind of story.
Why do I feel that Michelle Pfeiffer gets typecast for which movies?
She's really, really good in this film. This is a later film for her. She's a little older, but there's a great scene. Like when you first meet her, it's her and her two sisters. There's 3 witches, and they're all old and like haggard looking. And in order to stay young and to keep living forever, they have to eat the heart of a falling star. So they have a little bit left. They eat it, and she becomes young. But as she uses her powers, it takes away parts of her youth. So like throughout the movie, she uses her powers, then you see her hands start to get withered, and then she uses her powers and her boobs fall.
Oh man,
it's funny. It's
pretty
good. So it's like so this kid lives in this little English town, the Charlie Cox character, and there's a wall that separates his town from this other like little village. But everything that's over the wall in that little village is follows fairy tale rules. So like on his side of the wall, it's a normal English village. On the other side of the wall, unicorns exist and witchcraft exists. And if a star falls, the star turns into a person and not just stardust, So it also has a really wonderful cameo performance by Robert De Niro as a transvestite pirate.
Say again?
Trust me, it's funnier than it sounds.
Did he know what he was getting involved?
He doesn't shy away from the performance in the film.
Cool.
He's a sweet transvestite.
So it's like he's closeted about it.
transsexual.
He's like closeted
That's
about it. He doesn't want his men to know that he's into wearing dresses and things. So he always acts like really butch and piratey around his men. But then behind closed doors, he's
not
like he's not Frankenfurter. No, he's not out. He's not overt about it. But there is there's a couple funny scenes, pertaining to that story. So it's a good movie if you haven't seen it. I highly recommend it. Stardust. It's a movie that didn't get as much play in the theater as I was hoping it would have when it came out. Number 10 on the list. I feel like this should be higher.
Yeah, I would think.
I feel like this possibly could be an argument for like number 1, maybe.
Oh, yeah. My vote has made it up to number 9.
I was gonna say, as much as I love Stardust, I feel like it should be above that at least.
Mm-hmm.
The number 10 film on this list, or is it number 9 now?
Number 9 now on my list.
Number nine now is Wizard of Oz. So if you've never seen The Wizard of Oz, where the fuck have you been? Wizard of Oz is a classic fantasy film, a testament to old Hollywood's golden age. Young Dorothy, played by Judy Garland, finds herself whisked away from Kansas by a tornado into the vibrant, fantastical land of Oz, joined by the Scarecrow, the Tin Man, and the Cowardly Lion. And she must find the Wizard of Oz in order to get back home, but they have to avoid the wicked Witch of the West in the meantime. She's also helped by the good witch Glinda, so there are a couple different witches in this film. It's The Wizard of Oz. It's a classic, folks. You should see it.
It is a sequel to Wicked.
Yes, it's the sequel to Wicked. Wicked is the prequel story. Yeah. It's also, what's the other one? Oz the Great and Powerful.
Oz the Great and Powerful.
Is the other one.
Return to Oz.
Return to Oz. That's on here somewhere, I think, but it's like really low on the list.
They really followed the George Lucas, path of storytelling with this movie, where
we
start
had
at the end
one,
and work your way back to the beginning.
Work your way back to the beginning, and then you got the Return to Oz later on, which is like the Rise of Skywalker of Oz movies. So here's a little scene from The Wizard of Oz.
How about a little fire, Scarecrow? Go through that water! You cursed brat! Look what you've done! I'm melting! Melting! Oh, what a world! What a world! Who would have thought a good little girl like you could destroy my beautiful wickedness? Ah, look out! Look out! I'm going!
I love that scene. Awesome effects for 1939.
She scared me growing up. I would have to sit in the other room when the Wicked Witch arrived. I'd usually have to sit there. But then I turned 24 and I overcame that fear.
You still run and hide from the flying monkeys. Admit it.
I do.
Something about flying monkeys scared the shit out of me. Can I point out something that doesn't get talked about a lot when it comes to The Wizard of Oz? When they're told they have to go to the witch's castle to get her broom and bring that back to the wizard in order for him to fulfill their wishes, they are giving means to like defend themselves or whatever. The Scarecrow straight up walks into the witch's castle carrying a 6-shooter.
Yes.
Some bitch has a gun.
He did.
A lot of
Never
good
uses it.
Never uses water balloons attached to it.
Never uses it, but for some reason, the wizard gave him a gun. He was like, go in there and pop a cap in that green bitch's ass. Needless to say, I voted The Wizard of Oz up.
As did I.
So Stardust drops to number 10. And that brings us number 11, The Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
You got to give it to this one. The word witch is right in the title.
I know, and it's the witch is played by Tilda Swinton, another person who's kind of typecast as odd characters. I like the first Chronicles of Narnia movie. I thought it was fun.
She also like the one that trained Doctor Strange.
Yes,
Yeah,
she was
she
the
was
ancient
the
one. Yeah, the
ancient
ancient one.
and
She's typecast as a witch.
Kind of, yeah.
she also played
Either
Gabriel.
I was going to say she's either a witch or an archangel. Yeah. So this is based on the novel, The Chronicles of Narnia: Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, the first in a series of novels. The other adapted films were okay. This was the best of the adaptations from that series.
Right. Well, I think this was also the best book out of the whole series too. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the first book is pretty well known. So I enjoyed the first movie. I thought it was
He
pretty
had Qui-Gon Jinn as the lion.
good. Qui-Gon Jinn. Not Oscar Schindler. You couldn't come up with a better comparison. You couldn't just call him Liam Neeson.
The lion.
The lion has a
I have
particular,
a very particular set of skills.
Skills that make me a nightmare for witches like you. If you don't release the Pensivy children, I will find you and I will kill you.
Had you guys heard the theory that the kids all represent one of the houses in Hogwarts? The four
Yeah, I've seen
children. Yeah.
yeah.
Especially because like you also like their costumes match the colors of the house sigils and stuff like that.
Yep.
Oh.
So like the older one was Gryffindor. He was red and yellow. And he was brave and he had the sword. And then the oldest of the children, Susan, was I think she was like Ravenclaw or something like that.
Yeah. She was a smart
And
one.
then Edward was Slytherin because he's an asshole.
Yeah.
Sold him out to the White Witch. Also has a very young what's his name? James McAvoy as Mr. Tumnus.
Mr. Tumnus, yes.
Not creepy at all. Befriending a little girl while shirtless in the woods.
Yes.
He wouldn't do that again until Split. So I voted this one up. I think it should be a little higher. It should probably be in the top 10.
Yeah, I agree. I voted it up.
I voted it up.
Number 12 is The Crucible. Now this is actually so this is 96. This is actually I think like the third adaptation of the play that it's based on. This was probably the most recent one. I don't think there's been another Crucible adaptation since this one. It's okay. It's Daniel Day-Lewis, who's amazing in everything he does anyway, and Winona Ryder and Joan Island. That's probably like the three biggest names in this film.
Yep.
It's okay. I think
Based off the play, right?
Based off the play. I know there's one from like the 60s as well. There might be another one. I'm not sure. But this is the most recent adaptation. It's okay. I think it's fine where it is.
Yeah.
How this one got to 13, I'll never know. Hansel and Gretel witch hunters.
There's a witch.
Yeah, but like I'm not talking about the fact that it is a witch movie, but should it be number 13? I mean, I like Jeremy Renner.
It's a good concept. The movie was not that good.
No, it's not. That's why I said that. Hansel and Gretel.
But I said it has a good concept.
Oh, I got it to move to 14. I dropped it to 14.
I just okay.
That puts
I just moved it down to 15. It was hanging on my thread.
I got to refresh my screen then because it's still a 14 for me. So that puts Beautiful
I gotta
Creatures
refresh
at
mine too,
13.
yeah.
I've never seen Beautiful Creatures. I don't know much about that one. But that's at 13 on the list now. What is Beautiful Creatures?
Come on. A while to load.
Beautiful Creatures stars Alden Ehrenreich, who's Han Solo. This came out. Beautiful Creatures came out in 2013. Stars Alden Ehrenreich, Alan Sandler, and Jeremy Irons.
Anything with Jeremy Irons in it. Come on, that's got to be a classic.
Really? Because he was in the first Dungeons and Dragons movie.
About it.
He was also in the Three Musketeers.
Halloween.
You didn't hear my sarcasm in that.
That moves Halloween Town up to number 14.
Mm-hmm.
This is a 1998 film. Was this
Never seen
is
it.
this like a
It's a
Disney? This is a
thing,
Disney
yeah.
film, right?
It's a
Yeah.
Disney thing.
Yeah, I've not seen this one either.
That's
So
a
we're gonna
Disney
leave
movie.
that where it is.
Gets
Hansel
us
and Gretel
down to
Witch Hunters
number
will drop to
15.
15.
Is it
Bed Knobs
is
and
it
Broomsticks.
Disney? Yeah, Disney Channel.
Bed Knobs and Broomsticks from 1971 with Angela Lansbury is now at number 16. That should
That's
be
got to be
higher.
raised up.
That's definitely got to go up.
It
If
should.
you've
I
not seen
voted it
Bed
up.
Knobs and Broomsticks, it is a Disney classic. During the Battle of Britain, Miss Eglantine Price, Angela Lansbury, cunning witch in training, decides to use her supernatural powers to defeat the Nazi menace. Come on, how can you say no to a premise like that?
Gentlemen,
Everybody should know that
Bed Knobs
witches
and
helped us.
Broomsticks has moved to 14.
Yeah. Bed Knobs and Broomsticks about witches fighting Nazis in Great Britain in the 40s.
Bed Knobs and
Witches helped
Broomsticks
us
moved to
defeat the
14.
Nazis.
Sword in a Stone is number 17.
I don't see that as a
Can you guys
witch
hear me?
movie.
Yeah, I can hear you, Mike. You said it got moved up. I saw that, right? Got moved up to like 14.
Yeah,
now?
okay.
Yeah.
14, yep.
I got to refresh my page again. So number 17.
So like, it's a King Arthur story.
Well, Merlin,
It's
I
not
mean, Merlin's a
Merlin who's
wizard.
a wizard. If he was a witch,
No,
he'd be a warlock.
no, but but in this movie, The Sword in the Stone, you have the Madam Mim, which is a witch.
She's supposed to be like Morgan Le Fay or something like that.
Now, she's the one that duels against,
It's Merlin, but like
Merlin.
that's in the Arthur story, it's Morgan Le Fay.
Yeah, but
I'm not gonna vote this one anywhere because I haven't seen it in a really long time. I know I liked it when I saw it. But I haven't seen it in a really long time. So I have to rewatch that one before I do anything to it. I think number 18 is where it should be, Brave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like Brave, but I don't think it needs to be higher.
The
on
witch
the list.
has its part, but it's not a witch.
Oh,
movie.
we're doing a whole run of Disney.
Yeah, it's a lot of things. You got Black Cauldron next, number 19.
Bed Knobs and Broomsticks. Yeah.
Black
I'll
Cauldron's
vote
at
that
number
one up because I love that
19.
movie. You know,
Yeah, I like the Black Cauldron as well.
Yeah.
We're kind of like flying through them now because we're getting down to the bottom of the list here. So I'm gonna
Black
skip
Cauldron moved up
through-
to 16.
Yeah, I'm gonna skip a couple.
It did.
Because I want to get down to like I don't want to go through the whole list, but I want to get to a few that we should mention. Number 22, The Tragedy of Macbeth. This is a Shakespeare play that's been adapted a million times, but this is the most recent adaptation from 2021, starring Denzel Washington as Macbeth. It's a really good adaptation. It's directed by Joel Cohen, co-stars Francis McDermott, and Macbeth is known for the scene with witches, and it is a very, very creepy scene. I would have played some of it, but it's a really long scene, and I couldn't like narrow it down. But the witch scene in that film is amazing. Number 23, I thought, I'm not sure. Is this right where it should be, or is this too low? Teen Witch.
Oh, that's got to go up. Anything for that song that we're about to hear makes it move up.
I'm going to play the song, and you, the listener, can decide, should Teen Witch stay at number 23, or does this song alone mean it should go up a notch?
Brad just waved at you. You know, I wish you saw more in me than just brains, though, you know? Give him time. Men are like another species. They're really hard to get through to. Like, take Rhett, for example. Rhett? Capoletti? You like Rhett, Polly. You think he's weird, don't you? Well, I mean, he's not exactly my type, but yeah, I guess he's cute. Yeah, and he's really nice, and he's really funny. I heard him in class once, and he has the cutest walk. Yeah, I guess I could see you guys together.
I'm king, and they know it. When I snap my fingers, everybody says sure. I'm hot, and you're not. But if you want to hang with me, I'll give it one shot. Top that.
No, I'm not in the mood. Oh my God.
You can dream until you blue, but you will never top that.
Let's go back the other way. No, just go up and talk to him. Are you kidding? I'm so embarrassed. Look at how funky he is. I will never be hip.
I'm hot, and you're not. But if you want to hang with me, I'll give it one shot. Top that. Top that. You can do all that you can, but you'll never top that. Top that. So top
Supersonic, idiotic, disconnected, not respected. Who would ever really want to go and top that? Such a waste of pretty face, but hanging in your nose space. I wish that you would take a look and really stop that. Top that. Well, stop that. I don't really give a about trying to top that. Top that. Stop that. I wish you finally take a real look and really stop that.
What's this?
Stop that.
What gives?
Top that. I don't really give a about trying to stop that.
Top that.
Big deal.
Stop that.
Unreal.
You can try to, you blue.
I will make a fool of you.
Top that.
Woo! Top that.
That street adds amazing reverb.
He's so funky. I was
I will
going to say,
never
man,
be
that,
hip.
that is some a hell of a sound quality they got next to that Cadillac. That was,
Wow.
never be that hip. If it was possible
Why?
to stick my fingers down my throat, and throw up the 80s, that's what would come up. That was
Just
about
for that
as
song, I
80s as-
voted down to 25.
That is so so 80s that the 80s is embarrassed by how 80s it is. Three of the dorkiest looking
Just for
white
that,
guys
I voted
ever.
down,
No, I'm voting that shit up.
and it went to 25.
Top
Good, 'cause I
that.
voted it down and it went to 25.
Top that. It is, oh my God. You got these three of the dorkiest white dudes ever rapping like, they like as if they're Eminem. Freestyling. He's so funky.
Let's have Blake Lively's aunt in it, Robin.
Robin Lively. I actually think that's her sister.
No, I think that's her aunt.
I think they're sisters. I think they're like really like far apart or something. I know they're related either way.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look it up now. It's gonna bother me. Robin Lively. Where you at? Here she is. Robin Lively, actress from Teen. Like when you look her up on IMDb, the first thing that pops up is actress from Teen Witch. Let's see. Family. Relatives. Where is Blake at? Blake Lively is a half sibling.
Oh, okay.
So they're half sisters. Top that.
Top that.
So moving on. God, we can't have too much of a good time with that film. So let's move down a little bit. So we now have. Oh my God! So my list is so confusing now because now the last Witch Hunter is 23, starring Vin Diesel. I got
That's
nothing to say about that.
The Teen Witch down to 25.
Number 24 is Seventh Son with Jeff Bridges. I only have one thing to say about this film. Read the book. You'll have a much better time. Snow White and the Huntsman. I have another thing to say about that. Watch the original Snow White film from 1939 produced by Disney. It's a much better film. Sorcerer's Apprentice at 27. Mike, you like this one, right?
I enjoyed it. I don't know if there's much of a witch in it, but she's there.
I mean, the sorcerer part of
It's
it,
not
I guess.
really about her. Yeah.
Rosemary's Baby, number 28. I feel like that's kind of like where it should be. I look at that more as like a devil movie because it's about the Antichrist than anything else. The Huntsman Winter's War. I have never seen it. It is the sequel to Snow White and the Huntsman.
All right.
Halloween Town High, a sequel to the Halloween Town film that none of us have seen.
No,
Halloween
this is a
Town
Disney
2,
movie.
Calabar's. What the fuck? Dark Shadows
That's
at
like a Disney
32.
Channel.
I'm going to keep moving down and try to get to some of the better ones. So, like number 38, we got Hereditary.
You gonna do the 35? Oh, you didn't want to
Season of the Witch? I know. I don't want to
Season of the Witch?
overburden with Kevin with too much of his favorite actors' films. Hereditary number 38, one of the scariest films I've seen in the last few years. But it's a relatively new film, and it's another one where it's not so much witches, it's kind of like a cult. So I think we'll leave that one where it is. And is there anything else here that anybody sees that they want to check out? I mean, I don't see too many other ones on here, really.
Blair Witch
Down. We got the Blair Witch Project number 49. I have a little bit of that, of a scene from that film. This is probably...
I just want to apologize to Mike's mom and Josh's mom and my mom.
Only so much I can stare up that girl's nostrils, so we'll cut it off there. I am not a fan of this film, The Blair Witch.
I liked it when it came out. I thought it was a clever. It was a clever take on like horror film.
It was it's the first of what would become a slew of like found footage films.
Mm-hmm. It was the first like viral marketing.
Yeah, I was gonna say excellent marketing on that film because everybody thought it was a real like snuff film. To the detriment of the actors in it, their careers never took off afterwards because everybody thought they were dead.
Heather Donahue's mother actually got phone calls for condolences.
Yeah, condolences and stuff. Yeah,
and they're like, "What do you mean she's still alive?"
I'm not a fan of it though. Like, I don't think it's as I don't know. I didn't get as much a thrill out of it as a lot of people did. I don't think it was like scary at all. I mean, there's other films on this list that are way scarier. If you've never seen number 52, Drag Me to Hell, it's a Sam Raimi film from 2009. Really, really good movie. Really good movie. Very, very like heartbreaking ending. There's The Witches remake with Anne Hathaway. The Craft Legacy. There was a sequel to The Craft.
Yes, this was more studio based. It was bad.
Yeah,
and then there was another Blair Witch movie. There was a couple Blair Witch movies.
Yeah, there was the Blair Witch 2 is the Book of Shadows, which wasn't a found footage, which is weird, you know. I think that's it, really. I don't see anything else. So as you go like further down the list, I'm starting to get the films I never heard of now. I mean, Into the Woods is on here, but I saw that in the theater with Katie.
The new
yeah, I saw Into the Woods in the theater with Katie, and I didn't think it was that good. I know it was like pretty disappointing. Aside from Meryl Streep, who's freaking amazing and everything. Yeah, I don't know the rest of these, so I think we're good. I think we did a pretty good job of this. We didn't screw up the rankings as much as we did the last time we did one of these ranker episodes, but I had some fun with it. Were there any other?
I'm screwing some of them already.
We're missing one. It's not on this list at all. At least I missed it. I didn't see if it was on here. The Worst Witch.
The Worst Witch.
The Worst Witch is not on this list. I didn't see it on the list anywhere. At least I did. I might have missed it. I don't know. But
this is what got Fairuza Balk typecast as a witch, by the way.
This is a movie that my wife and I watched at Halloween. It's a terrible movie. It is. God,
so
awful.
Naturally, they remade it into a series on Netflix.
Yeah, it's a series on Netflix. But it is a god awful film. But it is really fun to watch when you are hammered. If you're hammered, or if the last time I watched it, I was hammered and I took a couple CBD gummies, so it was really fun to watch. The Worst Witch has this awesome scene where Tim Curry's warlock character is introduced, and Tim Curry is an icon, a legend. He's the myth. He's such a great actor. We love him in Clue. We love him in Rocky Horror. We love him in everything he does. But this is particularly what's that like?
We really need to do an episode just on him.
Yeah, we can do an episode on his career too. Like his career is fascinating as well. He was awesome as Pennywise in the It TV movie. But this, I don't know what to say about this. Let me play it, and then we'll discuss it. Here we go. This is from The Worst Witch, which wasn't on the list, but probably should be somewhere.
Hit it!
I wouldn't change places with anyone tonight. We'll carve pumpkin faces and watch the witches' flight. Every human heart will shudder. Every soul will shake with fear. Tonight, the creepiest. Tonight, the scariest. Tonight, the most wonderful night. The year anything can happen on Halloween. Your dog could turn into a cat. There may be a toad in your bass guitar, or your sister could turn into a bat. Christmas time brings the snow. Summertime brings the sun. But on Halloween, your blood begins to run. Something spooky's going down. Anything can happen on Halloween. It's better than a video.
If I could sum that up in one sentence, the sentence would be this: cocaine is a hell of a drug. That is obviously a cocaine-fused frenzy from the 80s.
Where can we watch this wonderful movie?
I don't know if it's on streaming or not. We own the DVD.
Wow.
I bought it for my wife one year for like a birthday present. Let me say this.
There is another movie that we missed on the list.
The special effects in that scene. I remember as a kid going to Busch Gardens for vacation one summer, and they had one of those booths where you could go in and like lip sync to a song, and they did special effects behind you.
Mm-hmm.
Looks exactly like that fucking song from The Worst Witch. I was singing to All the Girls I Loved before, but it was pretty much the same background.
This is the predecessor of Harry Potter, you realize. This is all about kids.
I know.
Little kids in a witch school, you know?
Yeah, but Michael Gambon never came out and sang Halloween Night. I would have loved to see that. Mike, what other movie we missed? He said we missed one.
The Warlock.
Yeah, you know what? I think like this list is mostly witch movies. It doesn't mention warlocks. It mentions like wizards, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, like if you had to mention a good movie about a male witch, Warlock, Richard E. Grant. That was a movie I saw as a kid, and I remember thinking I loved it when I was a kid. I haven't seen it in a while, so I'm wondering how it feels upon rewatch. I'm gonna have to like check that one out and see. Any beer trivia or history tonight for us, Mike?
I got a fun fact. IPAs were traditionally brewed at warmer temperatures with ale yeast that produced a fruity character. Today, some IPAs are being fermented at colder temperatures with lager yeast, which produces a cleaner, less fruity beer. Two examples of these are Indian Pale Ale, Indian Pale Lager, and Cold IPA.
Okay. And we have a cinema quote of the week.
A lot of times you get credit for stuff in your movie that you didn't intend it to be there. Spike Lee.
And on the other side of the coin, sometimes you get blamed for things in films that aren't your fault either. Like picking the wrong actor to be in a movie. Or snorting some coke before writing your Halloween song for your worst Mitch film. How are your drinks this evening, gentlemen?
Very good, sir. Very good. My underdog Oktoberfest lager from Yards.
I've had that one. I like that one too. It's a good one. I like yours.
You know, I don't
Evan-
think I drink much Southern Tier outside of the fall season. But they really do the pumpkin beers well. The pumpkin is naturally a delicious pumpkin beer, but the caramel pumpkin king or pumpkin imperial pumpkin ale, very, very good. And I can't wait to share them with you guys at another time.
Yes. And I, at my wife's suggestion, had a regular margarita just because of the margarita midnight from Practical Magic. I was drinking 1800 Ultima Margarita ready to serve. I'm going to show this to you here. The bottle was here when the show started. The bottle is empty. And to show you that that is not a lie, so is my glass. I drank a lot of margarita this evening.
I'm in danger.
That's about right.
At work tomorrow?
Of course.
Yep.
Next time I see you guys, remind me to tell you about trying to show these kids how to use dominoes.
This sounds like a good story.
It was an interesting day today. So thank you for joining us tonight for episode 169, Hex Appeal. We hope you enjoyed listening to this podcast as much as we enjoyed recording it for you. Don't forget, you can shoot us an email at filmsoffermentation@gmail.com or go to linktree.com/filmsoffermentation. Find all our social media podcast links. Become part of the Films of Fermentation family by supporting us on Patreon or buying our merchandise at teespring.com. You can text us at 904-867-4466 to tell us some suggestions. Let us know what you think of the show. Maybe give us a drink we should try or a movie we should check out or something like that. Or just, text us to say hi. We're always welcome to hear from the people listening to the show. Don't forget to stop by the crossroads between pickled and fermented the next time around for episode 170. This is going to be our Halloween episode, closing off, spooky season for us. We're each going to talk about, we're going to create a short list of our go-to Halloween movies. So Kev, Mike, and I will be making little lists of films that we love to watch at this time of year.
Short list, Leo. Short list.
Short list.
Short list, Leo.
I said short list. Yes, short list. As in, you're telling me.
Yes, we're telling you that you got.
You're telling me to you're telling me to keep it to 5, not 6, not 8,
not 27,
not 27. Well, we're each doing our own list, so
Yes, and that's fine. That's
if mine goes to 20, it's because those are my 20 go-to movies at Halloween. I will keep it to 5 because I'm gonna. I know you guys are doing like go-to movies in general. I think I'm gonna stick to like go-to horror films that I like to watch around this time of year. So my list, I will keep my list at 5. So yeah, don't forget to stop by.
Until we record, and then you're like,
we record, and I add 6 or 7, and then but don't forget, you motherfuckers do that too once in a while. Like, I'll be in the middle of doing the list, and I see movies getting added to it.
Never.
So don't forget.
All those movies are going to be Rob Zombie movies, so don't worry.
Yeah. So can we end this soon? Because I really got to take a piss. I'm trying to end it. You guys keep interrupting me here. So don't forget to stop between the crossroads between pickled and fermented next time around for episode 170, our go-to Halloween films. I'm Leo.
I'm Kevin.
I'm Mike.
We came, we saw, we kicked its ass.
This has been the Films and Fermentation podcast. Thank you for joining us, everybody. Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, one more thing. No.
I'll whip it out here and piss right in front of you if I have to.
He did empty a bottle.
Yeah, you got a bottle right there.
A lot of margarita.
I'm in danger.
That's right, Ralphie. All right, I'll see you guys later.
Yeah, see you Saturday, guys.